Hi, I'm Tammy at Simply Set Free, and we have come so far. We are on day 13 of our 2-week challenge to get rid of the clutter. We're almost to the finish line. You have done so well. Now, both the refrigerator and the freezer can get out of hand super fast. In my case, the freezer is often the one that gets neglected the most, so that's what I'm focusing on today. But if you want to work on the refrigerator, go for it. The tips I'm going to be sharing with you, most of them can apply to the refrigerator as well. So the first step is really important. You need to remove everything from your freezer and sort into categories. Don't make any decisions at this point. That's going to come in just a little bit. But this step you need to move as quickly as possible. Now, my categories that I'm using are things like fruits, vegetables, meats, breads, desserts, that kind of thing. But you decide what your categories are based on what's in your freezer. So I know you're curious about what my freezer looks like, so I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Okay, here we go. All right, this thing really needs to be decluttered. Now that your freezer is empty, it's a great time to clean it out. The next step is to throw away everything that is old or expired. I printed out this great chart from the FDA website. I'll put a link below, but this is a chart that tells you when things expire in both the fridge and the freezer. Now it's time to put everything back in a way that works for you. Now I want to emphasize this. There's no one right way to do this. What works for me might not work for you because we all live and function differently. The important thing is you want to ask yourself 2 important questions. The first question is, which categories do you use the most? The answer to this question is going to determine where you put things in your freezer. The second question is just as important. What is the size of each category that you have? How much meat do you have compared to how many fruits you have? This is going to determine which shelves you might use, what kind of baskets or what size containers you use. Okay, so I want to share with you how I put everything back, and I have to say I'm super excited. I know that sounds a little crazy, but this is going to solve a lot of problems for me, and I'm super excited to share this with you. Okay, so one thing stayed the same, and that was to keep all of my breads and my flours on the top shelf. I access those on a regular basis, so I wanted to keep that the same. The thing that did change was I brought my vegetables up from the bottom basket to the second basket down. I access these every day when I'm cooking dinner, and I really wanted to bring those up so I didn't have to bend over. The next big thing that I changed, I'm super excited about because this is really going to solve some problems for me. What I did was I put all of my meats in these Dollar Tree shoe boxes, and the prepared meats are in here. These are the ones that are cooked, and these right here are the ones that are raw. Now when it comes time for dinner, I instead of rooting through things and not being able to find what I'm looking for in the basket, I can simply pull these out, set them on the counter, and decide what I'm cooking for dinner. My bottom shelf contains nuts and seeds as well as fruit and some desserts. And over here in the side pockets, I have chopped up fruits and vegetables here in small bags. I have some prepared foods here. And then on the bottom shelf, I have some frozen concentrate orange juice that we use when we run out and we can't get to the store. And then I also have some cheeses down here that I've frozen. And finally, I'm going to give you my top 5 tips for keeping your freezer organized. Are you ready? Here we go. Number 1, use magazine holders, storage bins, and plastic baskets to keep like items in your freezer, but make sure that you label them. Number 2, either rearrange or completely remove shelves from your freezer if that makes sense for you. Just because your freezer came that way doesn't mean you have to keep it that way. 3, use freezer bags, not sandwich bags, to store things in your freezer. This will prevent freezer burn from happening. Number 4, always label and date your items. If you don't, trust me, you're going to have a hard time remembering what that item is later on. And finally, number 5, keep a permanent marker as well as washi tape or masking tape in the same area where you keep your storage bags. That way, everything is within reach when it comes time to labeling your bags to put them in either the freezer or the refrigerator. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you tomorrow on our final day of our 2-week challenge. Goodbye, everybody.